David, a 3-1 win against Knockbreda here at Inver Park. What's your reaction to that?
I think we're very comfortable throughout the whole game, apart from when it turned into a bit of a farce last 20 minutes. But up until then, I thought we were completely dominant from minute 1 to minute whenever Paul picked up his red card. Before the first goal, we probably could have been 2 or 3 in front if we'd have looked after the ball slightly better in the final third. But you know, we're pleased with 70 minutes of it anyway, and we had the game won in 70 minutes. So you know, we move on, because if someone had offered us 4 wins out of 5 whenever the season started, I think would have took it. So you know, we have to be happy with today's performance, and little things again always crop up, but that's football, and it'll not always go your way. But you know, we're happy with our work today.
And each home game seems to have followed a similar pattern. It's been quite comfortable. We've got ourselves in front and you know, carried it through from there.
Yeah, we've made it difficult for people to come here so far, and long may it continue. So as I said, we're happy with our home form. So we'll focus this week again and look forward to going to Warrenpoint.
And 4 wins out of 5, as you said, is a really excellent start. It's enough to put us top of the league, but I know you'll not want to talk about that.
Is it? I don't know. I haven't seen the other results or haven't heard. So, listen, as I said before, it's just about us focusing on ourselves. And coming here today was a wee bit of pressure again. We asked them not to turn it into some sort of a run where you're looking for a win almost. So whenever you get beat, it's important to bounce back, and I thought we bounced back very, very well, and very solid.
And what's your view on the red card, Paul McGar getting sent off?
It was a red card.
Next week we go to Warrenpoint. Outsiders will probably see that as 2 clubs who are maybe going to be in the mix coming into the season. You know, how important is that if you're coming up against a possible fellow challenger early this one?
I hope the outsiders are right, and we are in the mix come the end of the season, because that's what we would like. Warrenpoint will certainly be there. You know, they've obviously certain resources that they're able to hold on to 90% or 95% of their squad from last year, which, you know, at times went through good runs in the Premier League. So they're going to be a decent side, as we've all seen. So it's going to be difficult. So, but in terms of the game, we're not approaching it any different. We'll dust ourselves down after today, come back in, as boring as it may sound for people watching. We'll come back in Tuesday, Thursday, and do the same things and work on certain things that we want to improve on. And then we'll look forward to, we'll be trying to win the game at Warrenpoint. Nothing will change it.
And you're able to make 1 or 2 changes today where you saw fit. You'll have to make at least 1 next week with Paul McGuire, so you've got options there at least.
Well, that's the way it is, and it's something we haven't had previously. We wanted to go and win the game, so the 2 fullbacks started. We thought they would give us more of an attacking threat, and that was the thought behind it. And I thought it paid off quite well. I was slightly hard on us last week. We probably got 1 or 2 things wrong. It didn't, from our point of view, it didn't help the team. But this week, you know, I think starting the 2 boys at fullback, we always looked on the front foot, and it certainly set the tone for how the game went. And we were able to tee up and around. We were able to bring James back in. We were able to bring Darren Stewart back in. He gets 2 goals. So it's nice to have people coming in fresh and not running on empty, if you like, that we have been dragging people along in previous seasons. So that's very much not where we are now. And you know, it's going to be about the squad this season. We've made no bones about that, and people will be frustrated some weeks, and we just need a reaction whenever they're involved. And I thought again, you know, the three boys coming off the bench showed great attitude, and their performances were up there with how the boys, they just fitted in well with how the boys had played. So, you know, we've got a good bunch, we've got a good group, and you know, we're always looking to make that little unit better. So, you know, we're happy with it.
Hilden, Gillen and O'Neill not involved today. Can you give us an update on them?
Well, Mark was involved. He was on the bench, so I'm not sure where you were, but Mark was on the bench. We would have hoped to have got him on, just the way the game panned out with the 2 Garys come off with a little bit of an illness, and Michael's hurt his leg just delivering the pass for James's goal, and with Paul being sent off, we just closed the game out with bringing Studsy on. So we would have liked to get Mark on in the ideal scenario, and we were planning for it, but unfortunately the way it turned, we couldn't. Jared Gillen just wasn't in the squad today. Ryan Arthur missed out on the squad. Stevie O'Neill's just got that. They just can't shake off this hamstring injury, so we're going to give him a little bit of time to get it properly right, so that we get a 100% player, because he was playing on one leg pretty much last week, which is unfair to him, and it doesn't do us any good. So, in saying that, so that was the wrong call that I referred to earlier, but that's just the way it is. Sometimes you gamble and you win, sometimes you gamble and you lose.
And finally, Michael McKenna was voted as the August Player of the Month, a young player that's come in and settled in really quickly.
He has, and he'll not mind me saying this, but he came here today and his grandfather's passed away, so we send our sympathies to himself and the family. But he didn't tell no one. I just found out coming out when he just left the changing room with his suit in his hand, and that shows you what type of character he is, and just an unassuming kid who just comes and does his work. And I said to him one day about him smiling at something. I think it wasn't anything funny, and his answer was simple. He just said, "I'm just happy to be here." So I'm delighted that he's got a little award, and he'll continue to develop. He will make mistakes and he'll learn, but he'll put in more good performances than he makes mistakes, and he's got the makings of a good player, and he's a Larne man too, which is important.
That's great. Thank you.